Ow. Hello there, thy sirs and thy lasses. Two kings here. My name is Brandon. My side hurts. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Dungeons and Dragons. If my voice kind of fades in and out, that's for two reasons. One, I have to be quiet because people are trying to sleep, and also I'm starting to lose my voice. I played, I think, 6 hours of Dungeons and Dragons now. Maybe it was 7. I think 7. No, it was 8. It was 8 hours straight Dungeons and Dragons session, and I pulled off all the stops. It was hilarious. I think it was hilarious. Like, yeah, you weren't there, but it was hilarious. I enjoyed every moment of it, except for that one time where the kid's head exploded thanks to a javelin. But that's needless detail. Oh, I'm sorry. I understand a lot of you hate it when I would do pace when I'm doing a video, so. But I wanted to. I read the comments of one of my videos, and there was someone that said, "Hey, I'm trying to become a DM. Is there any hints?" Well, one thing I have a couple hints actually. The first one would be definitely to have dice, like a lot of dice. Me, I have pencils. Pencils, don't use pens, use pencils for your player sheets. Definitely a really, really useful tool, because if you write in a pen, you really can't redo your stuff, which kind of sucks. Also, I can't show you this because I'm recording on my phone, but there's an app called 5th edition character sheet, and you can actually create a character in less than 5 seconds with this app. Only drawback is it costs $3 for premium, which if you have premium, then you can level up your character and use magic. But more back to the DM's point of view. As DM, what you should always have handy is a divider. Basically something to block the player's view from your little station. Have more paper, because you're going to be jotting a lot of stuff down. Don't lose your shit. What may seem as little stupid information that you threw out there for the party, because they may be like, oh, what town is this? And you can be like, this is the town of Vulelak. And then later on, you're like, so in the town of Siasmith. And they're like, isn't it Vulemak? And then you look like an idiot, and you're just like, that's what I said. And I thought, yeah, I said that. Didn't you hear me say that? It just, remember some stuff. Write down a lot of key things, because the players will be doing the exact same thing, because they're trying to milk anything that you put out before them. A story. I'm a very hypocrite at saying this, but definitely have some kind of idea of what you're going to do. What I like to do is I bought the books, the 3 books, and definitely get the player's handbook. It just helps so much. Like, if you have the player's handbook as a DM, it makes it a lot easier, A, because you can make players' characters, and B, you can literally have all the player skills on hand, so that way you can also read them up and rules. What I like to do for my campaign ideas is I just take the monster manual and I just open it up to random pages. And then whatever the strongest monster was, most likely will be the boss or the quest that they have to take on. The rest of them will either be acquaintances, pals, enemies, rivals, paradoxes when it comes to the phone and reflection. We've gone beyond. But, have another thing I would strongly advise is make it unique. What I mean is your D&D. Make it, like, for me, I have my unique way of playing Dungeons and Dragons. I grab any object to represent the players. I use cards and sleeves, and I actually build the maps using those sleeves cards. And then I hand them a card and say, this is your movement card, which pretty much allows them to move 30 feet. And then, after that,
everything is determined on this board. I'm actually really tired. I'm like trying to think of the best advices I can, but it's not going 100% well because it is like 1 in the morning and I just did 8 hours of a 9-person D&D campaign. If you're going to be a DM, definitely wait a while before you do an 8-hour. No, sorry, not an 8-hour. Fuck that. You do an 8-hour. It's fucking great. I love it. But on a serious note, 9 people. I wasn't expecting 9 people. I was expecting like 5. And all of a sudden, more people kept showing up. I was like, what the fuck? And then now I got 9. And that's pretty. It's actually pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Like, it's a really, really cool campaign. Towards the end, though, I had to throw some of my ideas away simply because I couldn't speak because the players were getting too rowdy. Which, every DM's different. Me, I make people stay in character. I just think the game progresses a lot more if you stay in character. I, as the DM, take the role of every NPC, which is very strenuous if you forget how an NPC speaks, so I keep a limited amount of NPCs. Here's another one. Item shops. Before you set up an item shop, think beforehand. Definitely think of what items are in the item shop. Do not let the players choose what item they want. I walked up to this guy and he said, yeah, I got every I did ice bribe. I literally persuaded this guy to give me the best magical items there was. Why? Because the DM did not make it where that merchant didn't have it. He was like, yeah, I have it. It's like 10 million platinum pieces. And the main character was like, how about a copper? And the guy was like, well, that persuasion is going to be really high, so I have to say yes. And guess what happened? The pieces just keep on continuing because I'm bored and tired. Yeah. But if you guys have any other questions about the D&D campaign, or not the campaign, don't worry about the campaign. If you have any questions about being a DM, definitely ask. I enjoy being the Dungeon Master. My little gimmick that I like to do is I like to connect everything. Everything has a purpose. And what I mean by that is you don't have to do one D&D campaign where, oh, you met this old man who connects to this character and does this and then blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that. What you can do is like the D&D campaign that I just started, which the D&D that I just started is the farthest in the timeline of all my D&D campaigns. So in the present time in my D&D campaigns, we have Gru, who killed a village of gnomes, which then gave birth to my character Pullknife, which was like I think 20 years later, and Pullknife ends up becoming the dictator of the world for 5 years, which goes on to my next character, Vajiba, who goes to slay Pullknife, which he finally slays Pullknife 3 years later, which leads to the campaign that I am in right now as Dungeon Master, where we are now experiences the aftermath of the dictator's rule of Pullknife. And just having connections, having ideas, it leaves so many openings as a DM for ideas. And me, I'll never throw down a second idea twice or something that counteracted something I've done before. It helps create a fluent idea without overlapping. Like, oh, you've used this creature a couple times. Can you stop using it like that? I don't want to hear that. So I always pick something different. But at the same time, I always leave keys or hints or something that connect the story. A D&D campaign isn't the story. The campaigns is the journey. And it is not the DM or the character, but the player that has to experience the story from start to finish. My story starts with Zuko and ends as a DM. Or at least that's how I have my storyline so far. I went over dice, I went over gimmick, books. Lastly, if you're going to play Dungeons and Dragons, definitely have a player, players. What I mean by that is, I'm kind of bad at this, but I just love playing Dungeons and Dragons. Don't try too hard to do 3 or 4 D&D campaigns at a single time, or having large groups again, like I said, because you have to think, if you're gonna be a dungeon master and you can't finish your campaign, you're gonna try to do it later. But when's later? Because a lot of times people don't show up. So you're gonna have to think of ways. For instance, a lot of my campaigns, every single one, someone leaves midway or something like that, and everyone else wants to continue, like the one I just did with the 9 players. Someone left. So I had to create a device or a way or a scheme or a plan to get rid of that character temporarily, but a way to bring him back. Well, I'm taking up too much of your time. Yeah. Kind of went... I think the channel's doing a little better. We managed to get, 9 views on the last video, which is more than the video before that. And we got now 52 subscribers. 52? Last time I checked, it was 50. So we got 2 subscribers. So thank you, 2 subscribers, for watching this ugly ass face. And with that, I give you a goodbye.